Okay. All right, bring yourself, all of you, to the front of your mat. And good morning to everybody at home. Come up to the top of your mats too. Open your feet up wide to the edges. And then let's take a deep breath in. Reach the arms high, not for any other reason except that it feels so damn good, right? Spread your fingers out. I want you to feel the webbing between your fingers, and then pull the arms back a little bit so your heart feels even bigger. And then take another deep breath in, and then exhale. We're going to really slowly bend the knees and fold over. Just bend your knees so your belly rests on your thighs, and then let your head go. And so in this moment, we're taking care of our hamstrings. We're letting the spine soften. And then we're going to awaken the core. So I want you to push into your feet. Keep your tailbone tucked. Keep your chin tucked in. Pull the belly to your spine and roll up really slowly so you feel like you are articulating one vertebra at a time. Take your time. Last one up wins. How's that? All right. Inhale. Reach up again. This time, hook your thumbs, please. And then we're going to take a little stretch to the right. It doesn't have to be big. I don't want you to feel like one side of the body is getting all the love and the other one is not. So I want you to lengthen out of the right side and expand and breathe into the left side. That's it. One more inhale here, and as you exhale, return to center. And then just give me a little baby stretch over to the left side. And just do it till it feels so good. Make sure your tailbone isn't sticking out, but lift the pubis bone, drop the tailbone, and then give a little stretch to the side body. That's it. On your next inhale, fill your lungs big, and then exhale your air and come back up. That's it. Now release your arms slowly. You can already feel how nice the body is awakening. We're going to clasp our hands together. Make them like one fist behind you. And then inhale, straighten the arms and pull the chest open. That's it. Keep those feet grounded and lift your chest a little higher. Take your gaze up. Now here, you could actually draw the tailbone down a little bit and lift the pubis bone so you get a little bit more extension out of the top of the spine. Take one more breath where you are. And then in slow motion, belly stays lifted to the spine. Let's fold over and stretch the arms away from the back. That's really, really good. If my soul says so, I do as my soul says. All right, our feet are grounded. We're going to release our arms. And one more time, just like before, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone and the chin, and we're going to roll up slowly. Really take care of your spine. Feel the core work, feel the strength in your legs. Stack it up slowly and meticulously. And then we're going to step together at the top of the mat. Feet come together. Bring your hands right to your heart center. And I want you to think a little bit about what's happening in the inner body. We need to create a little bit of inner support. So what I want you to notice is that you have the ability to lift a little bit in your pelvic floor and your lower belly. And the simple act of doing that, feet together, yeah? Feet are together. We're going to lift a little at the pelvic floor, lift a little bit at the lower belly. And that creates a little bit of inner support. And I want you to hold on to that as you move through the practice. And so what you're going to notice is that there are times where you feel like that falls out, and then you pull it back in, and then it's going to fall out again, and you're going to pull it back in. And the goal for today would be to see if you could maintain that and not let it drop out and pull in and drop out and pull in so frequently. See how long you can maintain it. And I want you to think about how much is enough. So if you take your hands and you push them really hard together, or you take your palms and you feel like they're barely touching, like the hands have like a space between them, or then you make a perfect seal where the palms just gently touch equally together. One is too much, one is too little, and the other is just right. So go ahead on the inner body, squeeze a little bit. That's too much. And then let it go all the way out. That's too little. Do it halfway, and that would be just enough. Yeah? You guys, are you with me? Yeah. And so we want to be able to do what is sustainable and what takes an active consciousness. That does not happen by itself. You have to think about it. And so as you move today, I'm expecting to see a little bit more grace and a little bit more mindfulness, because as soon as you lift a leg to step back, you have to think about holding yourself together so that you move with grace. Yeah? All right. Let's see what we can do. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Just stay with the grace. Move with your breath. Come halfway up. Inhale, lengthen. Good. Now, here comes that step back. Right leg steps, left foot steps. Belly stays in, pelvic floor is lifted. You'll need it in your plank pose. And then lower down slowly. If you keep that in, the hips will come down last. Yeah. Inhale into cobra. It's a little baby back bend. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Pull the belly up and in, push through your hands, lift your hips, and find yourself in the shape of that upside down V. We call it Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. That's it. I like what I see. Know that your legs are stronger than your arms, so we really want to use the legs. You can actually let your body, straighten the arms and push back into your legs. Yeah. Okay. The goal is not flexibility. The goal is to awaken. Let's take one more breath right here. And then slowly walk your feet right up to the top of the mat. Feet are together. Inhale, come halfway up. And then exhale and fold. With a flat back this time, lift your head and chest and rise up. All the way up, reach the arms high to the sky. And then exhale, hands to your heart. All right, truth moment. How many of you were able to hold that together? No, not so many. How many of you felt it drop out and pull back in? So can you see how hard the work is? Can you see that the goal of yoga is not to put your foot behind your head, but actually to create acts of consciousness with every movement and every breath? Yeah, our work is bigger than the poses. It's the way we do the poses. Are you ready? We're going to try it again. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway up, look a little forward, then step back, keep it together, belly in, pelvic floor lifted, lower yourself down slowly. Inhale into cobra, open your heart a little bit, and then exhale, take yourself back and up into downward facing dog. Spread your fingers out big, make sure you're pressing the floor away from you so you rise up. Lift those hips. Tune into the quality of your breathing. All right, one more breath. Push back just a touch. And then look at your hands, and with some grace, belly in, go ahead and draw the feet right up to the top of the mat. It's how we move. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Flat back rising, head up, chest up, reach those arms up. And then bring your hands right to heart center. We got one more round. Here we go. Inhale, arms reach. Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Step back and lower. Take it all the way to the belly. Do it with some grace. Inhale for cobra. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. All right, you've got 5 breaths here. Just pay attention to what you're feeling in your body. Is there a part of you that feels a little dormant? Can you awaken it in some way? Can we make sure we do things not too much and not too little? but that we find that feeling of integration and connection in our actions, mindfulness and consciousness. Last breath now. With your exhale, bring your feet right up to the top of the mat. Lift and lengthen. Inhale. Fold deeply on your exhale. And now with that flat back, lift your head, reach your arms. Oh, make it feel so good. Hands come right to the heart center. Good. Inhale, arms reach. We're going to take it up a notch. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on the in-breath. Now, just the right leg. Right leg is going to step back and stay on the toes. And then I want you to sweep both arms up with some grace. Push down to rise up. We come up into that high crescent lunge. Very good. Okay. So we're high on the ball of the foot, which means you could actually come out of the front leg a little bit. Come up a little higher. It's the first lunge. It doesn't have to be so crazy deep. It doesn't have to be so fierce. It has to be just right. That's it. So we straighten the back knee a little bit. We come out of the front leg a little bit. And then see if you can feel that lift in the pelvic floor and the lower belly. And grow your upper body a little taller. Yes, feel how the musculature can extend and lengthen your spine. Give me one more breath. Lean back a touch, and then place your hands down, press into the earth, and take a big giant step back into down dog. Skip all of the goodies in between. Hips rise high, head hanging low. Find your breath. Use your feet. Use your legs. We're all going to take one more deep breath in. Let's open our mouths and make a sound on the exhale. Just go, ah. And then look at your hands. Let's walk our feet to the top of the mat. Come halfway up. Inhale. Fold deeply as you exhale. And then, you know, my favorite, bend those knees. Utkatasana, chair pose. Yes, we love you too. You should be in here doing yoga with us. That's it. Now, this is one of those poses where we have to play with what is too much, what is too little, and what is just right. So just for fun, stick your butt out a little bit. How does that feel? Probably not so good. And then tuck your tailbone under, like really curl it under. That doesn't feel so good either. And then find that place where it's just in between. See if you can sit in a little deeper. Yeah. There's always a place that's just right. So you have permission to be curious. You have permission to explore a little bit until you can find that feeling that is just right, where the pelvic floor and lower belly can hold you. Now, push through your feet. Keep the belly lifted and rise up. Rise up and stretch back. Take a breath. And then exhale, hands right to your heart. Again, inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Left leg is going to take that lunge back. Stay on your toes. Pull yourself together and then rise up for high crescent lunge. And so assistants, you know that they're going to be here for a little while, so you could absolutely help someone with a knee that's a little soft in the back. Right? You know how to help them externally rotate their arms and reach a little more with a little enthusiasm, right? So where can you help them light up their poses? I do it with my eyes and my words. You are right there, and you can do it with your touch. Back leg is straight. Come out of the front knee a little bit. From the pit of your belly, see if you can grow a little taller. Show me your passion through your fingers. Reach like you mean it. Fingers spread wide. Last inhale, lean back a touch, and then place those hands down. Belly in the whole time. Root the hands, take a big step back, downward facing dog. I really love how you're moving today. Everything is full of mindfulness. So we're going to lift our hips a little bit, straighten the legs as much as we can. And I don't really care if the heels go down or not. I really like to see the strength of your legs helping support the pose. Take one more breath right where you are. And then look at your hands. Bring both feet right up to the top of the mat. Come halfway up, inhale. Fold deeply, exhale. And once again, chair pose. And I want you to work on that place that feels just right. So then actually what I see right now is that everyone came into this pose with a much softer look on their face. Much less disdain for the teacher, right? Yeah, because you're actually finding the place where you support yourself and you have the strength to do this. And every time we do a pose that challenges us, we actually have the ability to face the challenge with a little bit of grace. See if we can take the biceps near the ears. Reach like you mean it. Let's press through the feet, come to standing. Keep reaching for the sky. Maybe take it back if it feels good. And then hands right to your heart. Oh, yeah. Inhale, arms reach. We're going to flow. Exhale and forward fold. Lift and lengthen on that inhale. Step back and lower on the exhale. Try to move with your breath. As you inhale, take cobra. And then exhale back to down dog. So we're going to approach the lunge from the other direction. This time we step forward. Right foot steps up. Stay on your left toes. And rise up into high crescent from here. Good. We're going to add on. Make sure the base feels solid and the belly is drawn in. Now open your arms like wings and twist to the right. Good. So strong feet. Make sure the back leg is straight. You want to feel solid underneath so you have room to articulate the upper part of the pose. And we're going to add something a little fancy here. Right arm is going to drop down and touch the left leg, and then left bicep to the ear. We call that water wheel. Go ahead and reach up, turn your heart out to the right side. See if the twist can sustain itself because the base is solid. Lift the heart a little more from the pit of the belly. Extend upward. Beautiful job. Now, face forward, both arms in front of you. Just face forward, unwind the twist, bring your arms parallel to the floor, both arms in front of you. As your arms reach forward, I want you to lean back, come higher on the ball of the back foot and bend the back knee. Bend the back knee and go low. Bend that back knee, go low. Yeah, your toe might not like that, babu. That's it. Now, a little bit of drawing down of the tailbone and a lift of the pubis bone, just for one breath. So good. Now straighten the back leg and fold halfway. Keep reaching forward. Oh, you guys are amazing. One last breath. Now left hand touches down on the floor. Right arm spins open for another twist. Yeah. Heat's coming quick. As soon as we touch that core, the fire element in the belly, right? Are you breathing? Are you doing everything inside just right? Give me one more breath where you are. Twist a little on your exhale. And then your eyes go down, your hand goes down, and we're going to take a step back to plank and hold. Breathe in plank pose. As you exhale, lower to the belly. Put a big fat smile on your face. Inhale, cobra. Yay. Right? Exhale, back to down dog. So I love how you're moving today. You guys are really being able to sustain yourself. And it does take a little bit of extra muscular energy. But when we learn how to support ourselves and we face the challenges with grace, our yoga is doing much more for us than just toning our muscles. Take one more breath, push back a little, and then the left foot's going to step up. We're coming into the high crescent lunge on the other side. Rise up, reach the arms high to the sky. Once you find that place that feels just right, you feel balanced, try being on the toes of the back foot. So we haven't even gotten to a warrior yet. And the pinky toe on the back foot actually has a purpose. The lateral border of the foot, those little baby toes actually really help you articulate your hips. That's it. Now, open your arms wide and give me a twist to the left side. Yeah. So your hips and your legs are solid and you're trying to turn from your waistline. We're going to make it look fancy. Left arm drops to the right leg. Right arm bicep to the ear. So rotation, extension, right? We've got a lot of things going on here. Use those pinky toes so your knees aren't squeezing to the midline. I want you to own the ground on your mat. That's it. Now turn and face forward. Reach the arms straight out in front of you. Much better. Higher on the ball of the back foot. Let's bend that back knee. Go low. Back knee bending, 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 bending. Yes. And then just a little bit more hug in the base. Pick up the pelvic floor, the lower belly. Yeah. I just saw that wake up in a whole bunch of you. Give me one more breath. Now the back leg straight. Fold halfway, reach forward. Amazing. Hold on to the support you have in the lower belly and the pelvic floor, and gracefully right hand down, left arm spins open. Yeah, we are awakening our consciousness in every movement, in every breath. Take one more inhale here, and then twist a little more on that exhale. Eyes go down, hands go down, step to plank and hold. Breathe in one time. And then exhale, lower down slowly. Inhale for cobra, and then exhale back into downward facing dog. Woo! Anyone need that one of those? A little bit of a release? Give me a big inhale. Let it out, make a sound. Yeah. Okay, walk your hands to the back of the mat. Let's get some pressure off the wrists and the arms. Hang free like a rag doll for a moment. You can grab your opposite elbows and just let the weight of your upper body create the sensations. There's nothing extra that you have to do. Let yourself be for a moment. Release your arms. And we go back to the beginning. Bend the knees, tuck the tailbone and the chin, and roll yourself up slowly. It's like an articulation and a reconnection, a feeling of the inner body. Standing strong in our legs, lift the heart high. That's it. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Walk it out into plank pose. We're going to hold our plank pose and roll onto our right side for Vashisthasana. So the assist here is to awaken them, to remind them that they can lift their hips, they can lift their ribs, and it's a simple touch. So like this, Diego. Diego, look, you can hold the wrist and you just say, lift here, right? Lift here, and they do. Yeah. And then we'll go ahead and switch it to the other side. Eyes down, left hand down. Take it over to the other side. And it's more of just a touch awareness. You don't have to lift them. So we lift the ribs, right? Have them lift into your hand. Lift. You don't have to lift them, Diego. Just have them awaken into your hand. Like, come to me, right? And then return to plank pose. Nice work, everyone. Lower down to your belly. Inhale into cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. If at any point you feel like you need a break, if you're nursing an injury and you feel like it's starting to speak to you, you take a break. You drop to your knees. There's so much yoga to be had in the stillness. There's so much yoga to be gained by just awareness and observing what's going on around you. There is no such thing as no pain, no gain in this park. That is not what we believe in. We believe in the process. We believe in respecting the edges. Take one more breath. Push back just a little bit. And now we're going to come into warrior one. So the lunge is a little bit different. Right foot steps up. The left foot turns flat at the back of the mat. We push down into our feet and rise up facing forward. Yep. Now, you get both footprints to really work for you here. You've got to put weight in both feet. You got to make sure the pinky toe of the back foot has some purpose. And then what I want you to do is keep that back leg straight. And then as you keep straightening the back leg, bend deeper into the front leg. Just see where you can go. There's a beautiful exploration here, and you're going to know when it feels like too much or too little. You're going to stop in that place that feels just right. Now light it up by lifting the pelvic floor and the lower belly. Let the torso rise, elongate, and extend. I want you to hold all of that because you did a really beautiful job consciously creating that. And then just let your arms come down behind you and clasp the hands together. Like we did at the beginning. Now you're going to fold forward, arms away from your back. Fold the right shoulder to the right knee. Keep your hips square. You might even be able to make them more square. Here. Right hip back, left hip forward. And I know this might sound crazy or scary to you, but it's actually really possible for you to bend the front knee a little bit more. Go a little lower. And then see if you can sustain that place of being low. And then start lifting your head gently. Start lifting your chest. And from that support in the lower belly, rise up. Oh, I love what I see. Reach the arms high. Inhale. And then exhale. Hands to the floor. We're going to take that vinyasa. Step back and lower. Inhale for your cobra pose. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Someone just gifted us with a beautiful cool breeze, so don't let it pass you by. Appreciate it. Now, left foot steps up, right foot turns flat. We do it with consciousness, with awareness and purpose. Push down through your feet as you rise up. Know that you're using that part of you that feels like it's just enough. We're going to really tune into the actions of the back leg. Feel the back footprint solid, the back leg straightening. And then just bend gracefully into the front leg until your body says, oh, just right. You'll know if you crossed the line and went too far, and it's okay to go back to that place that felt just right. Sometimes we got to stick it out, tuck it under to find it, right? Sometimes we got to push hard and then not push at all to find it, yeah? Now from that pit of the belly, let's grow taller. I know you can lift your heart. I know you can make the side body long. Reach to your fingers like you mean it. Keep your heart lifted. And then let the arms just come down behind you. The spine is still tall. Inhale. And then exhale, begin to fold slowly. It's the work of the inner body that's helping you stay graceful here. Pelvic floor, lower belly. Left shoulder to left knee. You might even square a little bit more. Left hip back, yes. Right hip forward. And then don't be scared. You can bend the front knee a little bit. Go down low. It's a place you can't touch when you're standing. And then we're going to try to maintain it. Push through the feet. Start lifting your head. Lift the head. Lift the chest. Rise up. Oh, on the inhale, the arms reach your fullest expression of warrior, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, flow it out, hands down. Step back and lower. So we went from the fierce warrior to the humble warrior. And it feels amazing. And it's full of grace. Inhale for cobra and then exhale back to downward facing dog. Find your breath. Remember the work in the inner body. It's not going to happen by itself. It requires your attention. Spread your fingers. Feel your handprints. Feel your hips rising. Take one more breath. Now we're going to step the right foot forward and stay on the left toes like we did before, rising up into high crescent lunge. And then if you would, turn your body to the left and face the left side as you pivot your back foot flat. So our feet are flat again. This is another warrior pose. We call this one Virabhadrasana 2. It's just a different variation. And we've changed the rotation in the hips, so you might actually feel something different. Turn this foot in. No, the other way. Yeah, heel back. Match my foot. Yes. There you go. All right. Now, because the legs are so open wide, You might have let all that work that you've been doing drop out onto your mat, right? But I want you to actually think about starting at the feet and drawing the energy up in the space between your legs. Lift the pelvic floor, lift the lower belly, and then see if you can open that front knee just a little bit more. That's it. As you pay attention to the front leg, don't lose the footprint on the back one. We're going to make it pretty like we did before. Left arm down, right arm up. It's called reverse warrior or exalted warrior. Lifting from the heart. The most beautiful expression of this pose starts at the pit of the belly. From the pelvic floor, the energy rises all the way up. You can take it out of your fingertips. Can you imagine just shooting energy out of your fingertips? Sounds crazy, but we actually have the power to do that. We lift it from the base. Some people call it kundalini, right? And in the yoga practice, we want that kundalini rising. That's it. Take a breath. And then return to warrior two with grace. Straighten the front leg. Make sure you still have yourself pulled together. And then come into your triangle pose. Right arm down, left arm up. Both legs straight. It's okay. It's okay to let your hand touch your shin. I actually like it on the shin so you can push down to rise up. Now the one thing that I see very often in this pose is that for a multitude of reasons, we tend to fold forward a little bit here. And I'm going to ask you to create a little feeling of like up dog or cobra. Extend the spine and don't be afraid to move head, neck, and shoulders back. That's it. Your breath is steady. And just like every transition that we have made so far, we're going to pull in the pelvic floor and lower belly, push down into the feet, and rise back up for warrior two. Head up high, take a breath. And then go ahead, hands to the floor. Just both hands to the mat at the front, pivot up on the back foot, and then step to plank and lower. Back into something familiar. That doesn't mean we get sloppy, it means we get to tune in even more. Belly in as you move back to down dog. How many of you would prefer a child's pose here? Take it. I'm going to give you a few breaths, so know that you don't need me to remind you that that's available. Even in child's pose, you can remember to pull in the pelvic floor, the lower belly. We're going to take one more breath right here. And then everyone rise back up into your downward facing dog. Now the left foot steps up. You're going to stay on the right toes. We rise to high crescent with integration, with grace. And then we turn open to the right side. We pivot the back foot flat. And you're going to feel the work in your feet. You're going to actually awaken the work between your legs. You have the ability to cultivate your power, to work on your alignment. So we want our hips to turn open to the side. So bring this hip back. So your whole body is facing this way. Yeah. That's it. Does that feel better? So your whole body is facing the side, but your eyes are looking at the front hand. That's it. It's tricky, and that's what keeps our brains young. We're looking at the left hand, but we're paying attention to the right foot at the same time. Our body becomes a whole. We never become so micro-focused on one thing that we lose the connection to the whole. Let's make it pretty. Right arm down, left arm up. Exalt the warrior, reverse the warrior, express your warrior pose. As you reach up, can you also sink down? Yeah. And you know that the most beautiful expression is coming from a lift at that lower belly. That energy rises all the way up to the fingertips. Back leg is straight and strong, giving you support. Return to the warrior two. Say ah. Straighten your front knee, make it even louder. Inhale, big, exhale, ah. Triangle pose. Left arm down, right arm up. All triangles are with straight lines. Even if you failed geometry, you know that triangles are made out of straight lines. So your legs are straight, your torso is straight, your arms are straight. And now don't think about how deep you're going. I actually want your consciousness to go to, how can I create more space? It might mean the hand comes up a little higher on the shin. The head, neck, and shoulders draw back. The spine lengthens. All of it is coming from the lift of the pelvic floor and the lower belly. We can light up our poses without having to go any deeper. And we light them up with our consciousness. Now, push down to rise up. Bend back into that front knee. Find your most beautiful expression of the warrior two. And then when you're ready to let it go, because we are attached to nothing, let's put our hands down on the floor. Step back, plank pose, and lower. Inhale for cobra. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Woo! Yeah. The work you're doing today is beautiful. I want you to take a moment to just be in your breath, be in your body. If this is a moment where you need to grant yourself some grace, you can drop to your knees and take child's pose. If you feel like you are just starting to light up, then give me the best down dog you have ever created in your body. Do it with your mind. You know, our brains are in our heads, but our consciousness is throughout the body. We have deep connection to everything that's going on inside. Our minds can go to our feet, to our hands, to our hearts, to our bellies. If you decided to take your child's pose, let's rise back up into the down dog. Take a breath. And then I want you to walk your feet right up to your hands. That's it. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale and fold. With a flat back, rise up to standing. Lift your head and chest. Start to reach the arms high. And then release your arms down by your sides. We're going to balance on one leg. So if you would, stand on your right leg and lift the left knee to the belly. That's it. And I want you to hold on to the knee, but I want you to press into the standing leg so you grow up a little bit taller. Remember the lift in the pelvic floor and the lower belly. We're going to maintain that level of integration as we open the left hip out to the side and then place the sole of the foot somewhere on the inside of the right leg. It can be down here at the ankle. Your toes could be touching the floor. You could be on the calf, or you could be on the inner thigh. The only place I don't want you to be is right on the knee. Don't push out on the joint. Make sure you're pushing right into your bone. That's it. Hands to heart center. Remember to do it just right. Whatever you're doing with your hands, you should also be doing to the same degree inside. That's it. Now we're going to see if we can maintain that balance as we reach the arms up. Go slow. You guys are doing amazing right here. I'm going to have you hook your thumbs and spread your fingers. Now we look like an amazing forest full of trees, and what would happen if a big breeze came from the ocean, right? Then we would all be bending toward Federal Highway. Yeah, the trees would have to bend so that they don't break. And then we rise back up. And if the wind came from the west, we would all bend toward the beach. We would bend so we don't break. And then we rise back up to the center and very slowly bring the hands right back to the heart. Keeping the belly lifted, just very gracefully put your foot back down on the floor. Pause for a moment. Take a breath and clear that out. So any judgments that you just had get blown away with the breath. Our yoga practice is not about perfection. It's about awakening. I know that standing leg still needs to recover. It was bearing all of the weight, and it was working really hard to create roots for that tree that was blowing in the wind. And so we let it recover. And and we actually watch the process. And we're going to try the same thing on the other side. And there's no guarantee that we're going to do better. And it's not about better or worse, it's just about trying. So stand strong in your left leg and start to lift the right knee. You can grab it with your hands, but try not to lean your weight forward. Sometimes when we grab, we let the head come in. So we're going to keep the spine tall. And then push into the left leg so you're standing a little taller. Remember the lift in the pelvic floor and the lower belly. Once you feel like you have stabilized yourself, then we can go ahead and open the knee wide. We change the rotation of the hip, and then we root the right foot into the left leg, somewhere above or below the knee. Hands come to prayer. Pay attention to how you're using your hands. Does it match the work you're doing inside? Every part of the practice and act of consciousness. If you're ready, you can try your arms up overhead. We're going to hook the thumbs and spread our branches, spread the fingers. We're going to take that beautiful wind from the west, and we're going to just lean toward the beach. And then we come back up. Keep the lift in the belly. The breeze is coming from the beach. And then rise back to center. Hands come together. Bring them right down to the heart. Keep the lift in the pelvis as you gracefully put your foot back down on the earth. And just feel the body recover. Feel yourself rebalance. Wipe away any judgments and know that trying is all that you are meant to do. And while you're trying, all the yoga wants from you is that you're paying attention. Now, it will feel really good to move, so let's inhale and reach the arms up. And then exhale, fold in, Uttanasana. Halfway up, inhale, lengthen your spine. Pull the belly in as you step back and lower down slowly. Inhale for Cobra, that beautiful little baby back bend, strong and mighty. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, take a nice deep breath in. And then in your own way, I want you to find your way to a seated position on your mat. So you can sit in simple cross legs. You could just bend your knees and put them down. Sit on your heels. In this moment, it's yogi's choice because I want you to serve your body. And I want you to find the way that's just right. And we can measure what's just right by our ability to pull up the pelvic floor and lower belly and give ourselves support. We're going to bring our hands together at the heart. And the work we're doing on the inside matches the work we're doing on the outside. Neither of those actions is difficult. They are acts of consciousness. They keep us awake. And they allow us to actually develop our energy rather than deplete it. Yoga is about the cultivation of the prana, the energy that is awake and alive within us. And when we light ourselves up, our presence is enough to light up the world. And so know that just sitting here quietly together and cultivating that relationship between the inner work and the outer work is enough. Being in relationship with your body, being in deeper connection with yourself, coming to know yourself in the privacy of these moments where judgment arises. We get to see it so clearly. There is no person on this earth that it's more important for you to get to know than yourself. Nobody wants to take this journey alone. We need each other. But in order for us to be with each other, we need to come to know ourselves. We need to look at how we show up. As human beings, we often project our humanity onto others. We allow the demons to interfere in our relationships. The simple act of getting on the mat helps us process. It helps us to release the things we hold on to, the things we don't even know are still in us. There is a mystery to it all. There's a magic that happens from breathing and moving and paying attention. And I promise you, it will serve you in ways that are unimaginable. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale your air, release your hands. Let's unfold our legs and put the soles of our feet flat onto the mat. Remember that feeling of lifting the pelvic floor and the lower belly. Extend your arms forward and start to lean your body back. You don't have to go far to feel it. And so I need you to really check in. We're just leaning back a little. Back is straight, chest is up. Yeah, soon I promise you get to lay down. Now what I notice, like my eyes are constantly scanning the crowd. And I always speak to what I see as the most glaring so everyone can benefit. I feel like everyone's head is jutting forward. So like if we were in posture like this, that would not be exactly the alignment we were looking for, right? If we were all like this. So can you let your head back? I know the head weighs a lot and it makes the pose more challenging, so maybe you don't lean back so far. This is the process of figuring out what is just right. Now imagine I gave you a soccer ball and I stuck it between your knees and I said squeeze it. That's it. Now, the most important thing that you need to do in this particular moment, in this pose, is lift the corners of your lips. Yeah, it's good. I know that you're listening. It is amazing when we get to bear witness to our strength. It's even more amazing when we reach the edge and we start to get a little shaky and we get a little bit ugly, right? We don't really like to face that part of ourselves. But this is a moment where we get to actually change the line of where your strength ends by holding just a little bit past where you want to. Means the next time you come, you're going to be a little bit stronger. So right here, right now, I know you're not going to like this, but it's 3 more breaths. Don't breathe fast to make it over quicker. I know all of the tricks. Long, slow, deep breath. And then the last one should be so full, so big, that you can use the whole exhale to lay yourself down. Don't lose the connection to the inner body, the work we've been doing. Lay yourself down slowly. There we go, all the way down, 1 vertebra at a time. Oh, you guys are amazing. I promise that you could lay down. There it is. Now I don't even have to cue you to smile. I bet it's just happening all by itself. Let your legs go down the mat. Just let yourself lay still for a moment. Take a deep breath in. And then let out an ah. Yeah, there we go. I got some love in the back. Right leg is going to pull right into the belly. Give yourself a good squeeze.
step of the journey will bring us closer to the
Make sure you're doing this in a way that feels just right. There's a little push and a little pull.
full circle, we are eternal. Drink the cup.
And then go ahead and switch sides. Left knee pulls in, right leg extends out. Thank you, Anna. Are you leaving? Yeah. Mwah. Thank you. A little push, a little pull. Make it feel just right.
Wild breeze is blowing. Earth and moon are whirling.
And then we're going to take both knees and pull them into the belly. And this is an opportunity to make it feel just so good. Take care of yourself. You can move organically. Rock a little side to side. Close your eyes and feel, really intuitively, consciously, taking care of yourself in this moment. And then when you're ready, we're going to put our feet back down onto the floor, onto the earth. Put your arms by your sides and very gently as you inhale, lift your hips up high. Bridge pose. That's it. We push down to rise up as you fill your lungs, and then exhale, come down. Upper back, then middle back, then lower back. Again, articulating the spine. On the inhale, rise up again. Inhale, lift the hips, open the heart. Push down to rise up, and then exhale, come down slowly. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Last one, best one here. Go ahead. Push down to rise up. That's really nice. You can hold it here. If you have a special variation that you love in your bridge pose, you can take it. If you don't know anything else but what you're doing, then certainly just stay where you are. Remember your acts of consciousness. The push down to rise up, the pelvic floor, the lower belly. We're going to take one last breath here. And then slowly, slowly come on down. Once your tailbone comes all the way down, you're going to draw both knees to the belly. Take a deep breath. And then let your knees go over to the right side. Both legs and your hips twisting to the right. Open across your chest and gaze out to the left. And then on purpose, like really conscious decision here, I want you to let go of the gripping inside. Let go of that conscious action. Soften your belly, soften the pelvic floor. So throughout the practice, we were cultivating our energy, right? We were finding ways to build the energy and contain it to help us sustain the practice. But I want us to shift now from being a container to being a vessel. And so we let go. We soften the lips, the eyes, the ears, the pelvic floor, and we soften. We let all of the energy dissipate. And we really, really let go of the action. And we start to play with the idea of surrender. Now it's important when we make movement that we integrate a little bit. So we pull those actions back in for the purpose of supporting ourselves as we come back to center. Belly in, pelvic floor lift. Roll the knees to center and then keep that lift as you go over to the left side. When you get all the way to the left, you can soften again and let go. Paying attention to ways that you can soften and play with that idea of surrender. We were all willing to come out and work really hard. Are you just as willing to come out here and get soft? Now slowly, with a little bit of support from the inside, we roll back to center. Put your feet on the ground. Take a really nice deep breath. Just clear it out. Let out a gentle ah. And then one leg at a time. Just feel it. Let the legs go straight down the mat. One at a time until they're both down there. Move the hands a little bit away from your body. Turn the palms to face up. And this would be your ultimate act of surrender, Shavasana. Slowly and really consciously, I want you to begin to bring your breath back through your body. Let the breath be the beginning of your awakening. And as the breath moves through you, you'll be inspired to move so you can wiggle your fingers. It's like you are breathing the life back into you. The movements can become a little bit bigger. You can stretch and move any way that you like. Make sure you make it feel just right. And in your own way, in your own time, I want you to bring yourself to a seated position. Use the pelvic floor and the lower belly. Do it with consciousness. What a beautiful mantra. The music today was Suzanne Sterling. She is a dear friend, and I'll be hosting her in September. If you like her music, you may actually want to come to her Voice of Change workshop that we're hosting. I can talk to you about it a little more after the practice. Let's bring our hands together at the heart. And with that same connection to that feeling in the pelvic floor and the lower belly, I want you to hold yourself in a way that feels just right. And know that this only has value if you take it with you today. Like 2 hours from now when you're doing something else, like could you say to yourself like, oh yeah, I should pull in my belly and my pelvic floor. In these ways, we actually begin to live our yoga. And it's not just because that muscle action supports us physically, but it's because we have taken a moment to pay attention. We have created an act of consciousness. Imagine if every one of our acts in our lives were an act of consciousness. Imagine if we took a moment to think and do things on purpose. How different life would be. For some of us, it wouldn't be that different because we're already doing it. But being human means that we forget. And so this practice, every time we get on the mat, is our reminder. It's our sacred space to remember and to do our work. So we get to amplify it and share it in some way in the world. We're going to bring our hands together if they're not already, and make sure you do it in a way that feels just right. And we're going to sound 3 beautiful ohms together. The sacred sound of Om, we're going to chant it. And I want the first one, the very first one, to be for you. I want you to do it as an acknowledgement to yourself for showing up and doing your work today. The second one I want you to do for someone else. And as you chant it, I want you to literally visualize and see their face. It could be somebody who's ill, like you're sending a prayer. It could be someone who's no longer with us that you miss desperately. It could be someone who doesn't know a thing about yoga and will probably in this lifetime never step on a mat, but in some way you get to share a little bit of this practice with them. Or it could just be a friend that didn't make it today and you want them to feel connected. I don't know. You get to choose. Send it out to someone specifically. And then the last one I want us to do for the greater good. I believe that the vibration will be felt throughout the world. Like we could actually spread it to the planet, but that's a pretty lofty goal. That's sort of the way I think. But maybe we just do it for our community. Maybe we just sing loud enough and offer it generously enough that it just permeates Boca Raton, right? All right, when you're ready, deep breath in. This one's for you. Now for someone else. And for the greater good, give generously. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. May the practice always be a source of peace for us, each and every one of us. May that peace bubble up so much that it trickles out into the world in some beautiful and mysterious way. May you always know that this is a practice. And if it's done on purpose, it will show up in really beautiful, wondrous ways in the world. I thank you so much for this morning. Namaste. Thank you. Happy Saturday. How'd my team do? Yeah, better this week, right? Compared to last week? Better? Yeah, I thought so. Way better. Thank you to Amy and to Anna for being the example for them today, to have something to model, and to all of you for being brave enough and a little more bold this week and stepping in there and doing your work. Thank you to Maddie and Andy always for being here to set everything up. I love you guys. Happy Saturday. Information about the studio. If you have never been to Yoga Journey, I would love for you to come as my guest. That is my home studio. It is in the Wyndham Hotel on Glades and 95, right where the farmer's table is in Trentee. So it's a really beautiful destination to come for class. I only charge $10 a class, so if you want to be able to have a studio that you can practice in, just like this, it's about accessibility. It's about being able to come on a regular basis, so affordable and welcoming. We do all kinds of activities. If you want to be on our email list, come up and sign the clipboard. If you haven't signed in yet for the city, please do that. And if you're interested in going on a yoga retreat, yoga and travel, two of my biggest passions, melded together in creative, amazing experiences. We're going to Spain in September and Cuba in November. So come see me if you're interested in that. And that's it. It's a beautiful day. Be on purpose. Om Name Padme Hum. There's information up here too. If you have somebody who doesn't live in the area and you think they would like to tune in to the practice, we stream live every week. We are in 32 countries and 22 states. I think it's that. Do I have that backwards? I'm so bad with numbers. But a lot of places. A lot of places throughout the country and all over the planet. We are streaming live, and people are tuning in all throughout the week, experiencing yoga and connecting with us. So we have created a really beautiful global community. If you want passes for the studio, come see me. I have passes and schedules here too. That's all. Tati, did you see Babu? We're having a little India reunion today. It's really, really nice. My gracious host in India, who took very good care of us for our 19 days last year that we were in India, is here visiting. I couldn't be happier to have Babu here with us. That's a long ride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
So
You
good.
love it?
I love it.
It's hard.
I'm tired and also, my legs are hurting, but still I wanted to make it.
Yeah.